Genshin Impact. It's like the most played video game right now. It is in the top 20 all across all platforms. We're going to get right into this because I want you to know exactly why no Christians should be playing this game. Who is the villain? The sustainer of the heavenly principles, the unknown God, and simply God. God is the villain. God is the villain, the one who sustains the heavenly principles. What are the heavenly principles? The Ten Commandments. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not lie. Thou shalt not commit adultery. These are good things, moral things that even an atheist can agree with, right? So why would we be playing a video game where the villain is the one who sustains these principles? If you go to the wiki and see, notice it's villains wiki. She is the evildoer. Yes, it's a she. And her name is Asmodee, also known as the sustainer of the heavenly principles, the unknown God, and simply the God, is an overarching antagonist of the 2020 action role-playing fantasy game Genshin Impact. Now look over here where it says her hobbies. Hobbies is upholding the heavenly principles. What a beautiful hobby to have, right? Upholding these wonderful moral laws. Love your neighbor. Do not steal from them. Do not envy their things. Do not murder them. Do not commit adultery with their wives, right? Everyone should agree with these things. That should not be a villain, right? Now look at the goals. The goals says to keep the balance between the universe pure, to prevent mankind from traveling across dimensions. These are good things. This being, this God who upholds the heavenly principles, has a goal of keeping the universe pure. Yeah, let's fight that villain, that evil, tyrannical villain, right? This is insanity that this has become mainstream. You know, we've been talking about this for years, that in Disney, it's always break the rules, follow your heart. And the superheroes, they kind of disguise it. It's like, oh, it's Thanos. He's an evil villain, but he's an all-powerful God sitting on a throne in the heavens, in the sanctuary, who's coming to earth to snap his fingers and separate the wheat from the tares, the sheep from the goats, to destroy half of humanity. Every description of Thanos is Christ. There's even a deleted scene where he's walking on water that is blood. This is all biblical. But why are we always got to make it about the Bible, right? Are we just making this about the Bible? It literally says that the evildoer is God. So who's the good guy? Well, let's see. Beelzebul. Sounds a lot like Beelzebub, right? You guys ever heard that? Beelzebub. Look, notice it says, where this yellow arrow says it's a do-gooder. This Beelzebul is a do-gooder. Down here with the red circle, it says Baal. Baal. Another name for this character is Baal, the god of eternity. Oh, the god of eternity is Baal now? A good guy, a do-gooder? Over here in the aliases, it says Beelzebul, Baal. Now, maybe I'm just twisting this. Maybe Beelzebul, that's different from Beelzebub. Maybe it's not the same thing. Well, let's look at the encyclopedia. Beelzebul. Beelzebul is a name used in the New Testament for the prince of demons. Notice it says Beelzebul, not Beelzebub. But when you look down here, it says, although Beelzebub rather than Beelzebul appears in older Catholic translations of the Bible, Beelzebub is found only in the Latin. So it's in the Greek manuscripts that we have Beelzebul. So the good guy is the prince of demons, Beelzebul, another name for Satan. And who is the villain? The unknown God that upholds the heavenly principles and has a goal of keeping the universes pure. Where are we at as society? Another good guy character, a playable character. Notice it says do-gooder. I'm not just making this stuff up. Do-gooder. One of his aliases is the pride of Oni. Right there in the circled in red. It's kind of hard to see, it's small. The pride of Oni. Well, what is an Oni? First of all, I want to talk about pride. Who was the first being in existence to ever experience pride? If you look in the Bible and look at all the descriptions of Lucifer, it says that pride came up into his heart, and that's why he fell to earth. That's why he was cast to earth, because of pride in his heart. But what is an Oni? O-N-I. What is that? Define Oni is a kind of demon. It's a Japanese demon. This is a Japanese-made game. This is based off of like anime. And so that's what we see. We see a lot of these common threads in anime. I'm about to show you that at the end of this. But we see this even in America we see the same thread. We see the same Gnostic gospel where Satan is the good guy, God is the villain, but usually it's sugar-coated, like, oh, it's Thanos, he's a purple alien. But in Japan, a place that has less than 1% of Christianity, less than 1% of Christianity has all these biblical themes in it. But yet we're accused of why you got to make it about the Bible? How come you guys always got to twist things and make it? It's not about the Bible. I literally saw people in the chat saying, "Look, it's just a game. Not every game a kid plays is evil. Well, when the villain is God, the upholder of the heavenly principles, yes, that is evil." Now, this same character, we see his beginnings. It says young Arataki Ito. Notice he's a small little red chibi with red horns. And then we have this video clip right here. This is a story, a kid-like story told about his beginnings, like how this Oni, this demon, wanted to be friends with the children. It's this whole sympathy for the devil. Check this out.
The Crimson Oni wished to befriend the humans, but they were scared and threw beans at him whenever he came near. As planned, the Crimson Oni chased the Blue Oni away. The Crimson Oni's deeds spread throughout the land, and people finally accepted him.
Wow. So the red Oni, the demon, wanted to be friends with the humans, but the humans were mean to him and they threw beans at him. And this whole sympathy story, boo-hoo for the devil, sympathy for the devil. But then the blue Oni said, hey, I'll do something bad in the village. You run me off and you can be a hero. Notice he's playing both sides. The demon's playing both sides. Look, as Satan, he could say, I'm going to put an ailment on this person. And then when your witch doctor comes or your new age guru comes over and prays over you, then I'll relieve that person. I'll leave that person and they'll think that the witch doctor healed them or the new age person healed them. See, this blue Oni said, I'll play the bad guy. You run me off. You can be the good guy. And all the humans praised him and accepted him as a friend with a demon. Now he's the hero. When you look up that character, he's literally on Hero Wiki. He is the hero. Now in this next clip, we're going to see another clip just verifying the same thing, that now he's a hero and the humans, or they get along.
Humans and Oni overcame their differences, and they all lived happily ever after.
Oh, the humans and the demons, they put aside their differences and lived happily ever after. Humanity with demons. But you never see this with in humans, they befriended the good angels and they lived happily ever after and they wanted to fight for God against the demons. No, it's always an inversion. It's always, let's fight God. Let's fight those heavenly principles. Let's fight the 10 Commandments and let's make friends with the demons. Look, the Bible says that in the last days, the dragon is going to come down with great wrath, with rage against those who keep the commandments of God and have the faith and testimony of Jesus Christ. This is prophecy. If you believe the Bible, then you believe that this is going to happen, that Satan is going to come against people who keep the commandments of God. And yet all this propaganda, from Disney to video games to movies like Marvel, everything is coming out saying, no, you need to fight against the 10 Commandments. We don't like those. We don't like the one who upholds those things. You are a villain. This is exactly what Satan is preparing the world for. How do you think we're going to get to a place where we are all worshiping the dragon? The world worships the dragon and helps him fight against people who keep the commandments. It's propaganda like this. We're seeing it. We're living in the last days, people. Like, it is unfolding before our eyes. Now, there's a part in the wiki that said inversion of Genesis. So this game is literally an inversion of Genesis, an inversion of the Bible. Like, this is what we keep talking about. This is Gnosticism. We see it in all mainstream media. Now, what does GenShin mean? I looked it up on Quora. One of the answers says the word GenShin, translated allogenes in English, refers to humans who possess visions. Now, visions is something in the game. They have the potential to become gods, which is the origin of the name GenShin. Means something like proto-god or original god, or allogene is a figure in Gnosticism. This isn't me saying it. This is the best answer on Quora. said that this is a figure in Gnosticism with both supernatural power and potential to become a god. Now, what is an impact? You're talking about you're changing society. You're having an impact on the world, right? So those who become like God, this is straight from Genesis. The serpent said this, eat this fruit and you'll be like God. Your eyes will be open. You're knowing good and evil. See, God just wanted us to know good, but the serpent said, no, no, no. You can become like God. Lucifer himself said, I will be like the Most High. I will put my throne up in the stars. I will be like God. And here it is. The humans have the power to become like God and fight against the ones who uphold the heavenly principles. Now, in this clip, we're going to see a little bit about, real quickly, just what the plot is. And they're going to tell you from their own mouths that these beings fell to earth and that they are engaged in this war, and that God says, no, this throne is not for you. But the humans say, yeah, we will take over that throne. Listen.
The war has already begun. Rewards for the worthy, the doorway to divinity. Yet buried in the depths of this world lies smoldering remains. That throne in the sky is not reserved for you, but mortal arrogation never stops. None will escape the flames. The dragon who defended Mondstadt for a millennium finally faces his perturbation. What does freedom really mean when demanded of you by a god? Some say a few are chosen and the rest are dregs. But I say we humans have our humanity.
So the whole object, the whole plot of this is, look, there's a throne in heaven and they say it's not for us, but we will take over that throne. We'll take the heavenly throne. And yeah, there's a ashes of the ruined world that the dragon for a millennia, which is 1,000 years. Interesting, because the Bible clearly says in Revelation that the dragon was cast down into that pit for 1,000 years. And it says that this dragon fought for this nation for 1,000 years. A nation that was ruled by a tyrannical villain that wants to put people under these heavenly principles. And the dragon wanted to free them from the law. The lawless one. This is what the Bible talks about, that in the last days there will be the spirit of lawlessness. This is what this game is teaching so many people across the world. 61 million people in 1 month's time were playing this game. This is not a small game in the corner somewhere. This is huge. Now we see the same theme across all these. Bayonetta, same thing. She was a naked witch that's fighting the angels of God. Neon Genesis Evangelion, same thing. The creators seeded all these planets with the seeds of Adam and Lilith, which all this is biblical language, the seeds of life and the seeds of knowledge, but Earth got seeded with both. And so the angels of God literally had to come to Earth to try and destroy half of humanity, one side or the other. But the humans decide to make Oni robots. This is not me saying this. This comes straight from the source. They made robots in the shape of Oni. So you got demon robots that are fighting against the angels. And these are the good guys. The good guys are controlling the demon robots fighting the angels of God. And that's the heroes. His dark materials, same thing. We're going to fight against the creator. The fallen angels were cast out of heaven. They found somebody on earth that was worthy to help them in this holy war against the creator, and they're going to fight against him. That's that storyline. We see 7 Deadly Sins, an anime that's very popular. Same thing, the 7 deadly sins, each of them are a personification of each sin. They are the heroes who are fighting against, guess who? The 10 Commandments. And the 10 Commandments is not just some fancy name for a gang or something. No, all of the 10 Commandments are literally purity, love, joy, all these things. Again, why would anyone root for the villains or root for the good guys who are the 7 deadly sins in opposition to things like love and peace and joy? It doesn't even make sense, even in the mindset of an atheist. Why would you go against these things? Shin Megami Tensei, same thing. The apocalypse. Guess who the villain is? Yahweh. And when they say the word Yahweh, it's an unspeakable name. It sounds like a record scratch. This is over and over and over again. This is brainwashing propaganda. You have to break from the system. Please unplug. Notice, take note of what you're participating in. For any parents out there whose children, I heard somebody say that, oh, this game, Genshin Impact, it's not that bad. I let my 6-year-old play it. This is a person who's giving a review telling the public what the age limit is for this game. It's rated 12 and up, but this person's saying, you know what? It's not that bad. My 6-year-old plays it. My 6-year-old's being indoctrinated with anti-Christian principles that God is the villain, the one who upholds the heavenly principles, the 10 Commandments. He's the villain. That's what you're playing. Literally an interactive satanic Bible study. That's what's happening. A virtual Bible study that is better than most Bible studies out there, because nobody's supporting the Christians. Nobody's funding the Christians to make something to go against this. We should have virtual Bible studies that are like telling the truth, right? Isaiah 5:20 says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. Just like calling the 10 Commandments bad, right? And the 7 deadly sins good, right? Woe to them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. We are in these last days. This is happening. Lucifer, a show where he's the good guy. He's the ladies' man. He works for the cops. Hellboy, he's the superhero, right? The Dark Knight, he's the superhero. Venom, oh, I don't know if he's good or if he's bad. He helps people. This is where we're at as a society, people. Joshua 24:15 says, and if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose ye this day whom you will serve, whether the gods of your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Let this be our motto. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. We will not be entertaining our minds and putting things before our eyes that's saying that God is the villain and that Oni and Satan is the hero. What are we doing? People just say this is just a game. It's just a movie. It's not. We're putting things before our eyes that are going against God. The Bible says, I will set no wicked thing before my eyes. And we're being entertained by it. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 through 7 says, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetousness, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. We see that all the time. Despisers of us who are pointing out the truth. Traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. This speaks to me big time, because people say, but I love these games. I love these anime. They love the pleasure of the world more than God. It goes on to say, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. For of the sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away by diverse lusts, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of truth. Why do so many people, they can't come to the truth? Because they're so distracted. The enemy has had them distracted by the lust of the flesh, by the pleasures of life. And it says we have a form of godliness. Look, I have a Bible. I call myself a Christian. I wear a cross. I go to church every week. But denying the power thereof, the power to have victory in your life, to overcome sin, to break addictions, the addictions of drugs and alcohol and even media. God can do that. And we're not here to rain on anybody's parade. We're here to show you the truth. We care about you so much that we want you to not fall trapped to these things, because this is propaganda. It's wrapped up in a pretty little package. And by the time you get sucked into it, you don't even know what you're seeing anymore. So we're here to shine the light in the darkness. We love you. We thank you. Share this with everybody you know, because this game is huge. 61+ million players in 1 month. We'll see you next time on LED. God bless.